I can demonstrate how this aura works. I get a lot of people who tell me that they like the concept of Weakauras, but they don't know how to use it, so I thought I would demonstrate one of the ones I have today. So, without further ado, let me demonstrate first, just give you an idea. So we've got 3 targets here. I'm going to annoy the tanking dummy here so I can stay in combat. And you'll see here, watch. Okay, nothing so far, but if I target him, oh, look at this gold aura. Now I'm going to keep away from him so he doesn't hit me, but I'm still aggro. So now we see the gold aura there. If I target him, an enemy, it's gone. Target him again, there it is. Now this is the trick is, what this golden little aura here is I've created, it is indicating that the aura of sacrifice is active. I am in range of it. Now watch if I back up enough. Oh no, it's red. I'm out of range. I'm back in range and I'm out of range. Now that's the important trick here. I've got 2 auras running technically. One for gold, one for red. Now this is another important caveat here, and I'll explain later why. If I target him, oh, it's gone. Now it's back. So let's get out of combat here and I'll explain how to construct this. The general idea here is the auras have a 10-yard range, all 3 of them. So we go to the talents, you'll see here, each one of you read 10 yards, 75%, then 10 yards, and another one, allies within 10 yards. So, for any of your auras, I've designed this. Let's open up the weak aura here. I've got 2. I've got auras on, auras off. Okay, let's start with the on. This is for the gold. Now you can create your display however you want. I'm not really going to get into that because it's just largely wiggling it all about. But I have it so that I have this aura here right along my character so I can see it kind of like an aura visually. And I haven't gone too fancy, a pretty simple, straightforward design. Picked a gold color there. You can choose however your aura looks. And then you can rotate the height, width, the X, Y. You can do all sorts of stuff. We really don't have to get into that. That's pretty easy. Now this is when we start getting to the nitty-gritty, the real important stuff. Now you're going to create an aura when you go to your selection here. For what are my triggers? You're going to pick an aura. Sorry if I cough, by the way, folks. I've had a cold. And then for your aura here, now this is what you're going to do is you're going to have 3, you know what? Let's just to be more clear here, let me open up one. Let's just make an aura real fast to demonstrate. This is going to be a texture. So just as you can see, aura, let's give it a name. We'll just call this one test to work on that quickly. So you have selected aura, then you're going to put the aura name in. And just as an example, aura of mercy. Try to make sure you do the caps right. The spelling is very important. I click OK. It's found aura of mercy. You do it 2 more times repeatedly, just as you see here. Sacrifice and devotion aura. Now let's keep going down here. And you're gonna want to pick target, because sometimes this is important with the dummies, especially. They are not a player necessarily. Sometimes it's an NPC, but it will still get the trigger. I'm actually not sure if a dummy, they might have actually given it a player caveat just for these situations, but for the most part put target just so you don't have any problems with that if it's an NPC, like when you're in the Endless Spring or whatever and you've got to heal a dragon. It's not a player. It's a buff, of course, not a debuff, and you want to select own only because if you're in a group with other paladins, you don't want any conflict there. You want to know that it is your aura triggering. So, the simple thing, we're going to put it in combat, just because having that thing on 24/7 is kind of redundant and unnecessary, so let's just say in combat. You could actually put it outside, just put it up at all times, but let's be smart here. And then, you don't really need to do this, but it's just kind of a formality, more so for organizing your auras. You put Paladin down for your class, and then Holy, so that way this is only appearing on your powers, because look over here. I've got tons of not loaded. You don't want all that up there. You want to see only the stuff for Holy. So, you put Holy and Paladin, and then actions and animation. I didn't do anything fancy there. You could do more crazy stuff. That's for another video. Now, this is all to activate the gold aura when I am walking in range of the guy. This is just a repeat here. Let's antagonize him one more time. And I target. That's in range. Now, this is the other important part. I'm outside of range. Okay, how do we get that? How do we get this nice transition going? Well, you're going to need to construct a second aura. One aura is only turning on for when it's activating. The other aura, and I'm purposely splitting these in two and everything, you probably compartmentalize them more, or actually no, I take that back, you can't. You're going to have to do this with two auras to get the different graphics. Unless you want to put like an animation and everything and do some ridiculous thing. No. And not worth your time. I'm purposely avoiding Lua and all sorts of stuff because I don't want to give people complicated material. This is something you should be able to construct easily on your own, no coding, nothing that you're going to go look up on Google and go, what the hell is this? I didn't know I had to learn Moonspeak today. So, this is what macros are for. I have to get used to clicking that again. So, we've got aura off. This is the other option. Same deal with the display, except I picked red. Honestly, when you're building this, just finish the aura on, copy it. You can click duplicate and make a whole copy for aura off. That way you don't have to redo everything. It'll be identical in where it's positioned. You just change the color. You'll be good. Now for aura off, this is important here. We'll start with trigger 1, which is identical to the aura on. Except when we go to the bottom, we're going to check off, this is the difference, inverse. So if you highlight, activate when the given aura can't be found. So when it's not on the guy, it appears. So this one, the gold one here, is only appearing when the buff is actually on him in 10-yard range, and then this is literally appearing 24/7 elsewhere. Keep in mind you have to be targeting a guy. If you're not targeting somebody, the aura won't appear. That's part of the rule here of why you put target for the unit when it's a buff. Now, there's an important trick though. I won't get too much into this. First of all, there is a second trigger. The second trigger is important here. This is to prevent it from... I had a problem earlier where if I target this guy over here, see where my mouse is, the Dungeoneer Training Dummy, the DPS dummy, it would be basically, it's like, well, it's targeted in guy, and the aura isn't on him. It's red, but wait, I'm not healing him. Of course it's not on him. So we need to put a second trigger on, and you need to put it as all triggers. Any trigger means that if anything happens, let's say I've got 5 different ways at which this thing can trigger, if any of them appears, the thing turns on. All means that all the triggers have to be working at the same time. So that's a very important distinction there. So we go down, and what you're going to do instead is, let's go down, I'll do it on this version just so people can see. Let's make a new trigger here, add a trigger. Trigger 2, you're going to click status. This is important. You're going to go down to unit characteristics, and now we can go back up to here. So I'll explain better. Unit characteristics. And this is basically ways of defining the way in which the target is. Like, what is the target? So in this case, we are designating it as a target at a player, pet, whatever. The hostility, you're going to put as friendly. And this is annoying as hell because I don't understand why I have to do it, but I did it just to make it work. You need to, watch here. You'll see it as attackable, click once, it's attackable, click again, not attackable. A lot of Weakauras has actually hidden features that if you double click, you'll get a second version. Another example here is in combat, not in combat, see? So here, not attackable. So not only do you have to designate as a friendly target, but not attackable. Otherwise, like the Dungeoneer Training Dummy, this Weakaura won't work unless you check this off. So once you've checked that off, and you've built this second trigger in, again, make sure your load is right, but if you copy-pasted what I said earlier, you'll be fine. No actions, no animations, and voila, you have both auras done, and we'll demonstrate one more time. Running up to this guy, oh, it's a boss fight, let me antagonize him. Okay, targeted the boss, nothing's happening to me, but, oh, look here. Hey. I can heal him, and I'm in range of the aura. You'll see my health dropping. That's not from the boss hitting me. It's from the aura of sacrifice. If I keep... Because what's happening is he's getting injured. So, if I keep doing that... Healing myself... Oh, but let's back up. Up. I'm out of range. I can't sacrifice anymore. Friend's gonna die without my help. Gotta get close again. There we go. Now, this is an important thing as well for Holy Paladins and Legion coming up. There's a big part of our HPS is going to come from our mastery. And for anybody who's not aware, just curious, the mastery here you can read is Lightbringer. Proximity to your target causes your spells to heal for up to 28% more. My amount of mastery. So, now this is the trick is, within this aura's range, 10 yards, you have a 10-yard window. You don't literally have to hug the guy here and bond with him. If you're within 10 yards, you're getting the full maximum amount of the mastery. Once you're outside the 10-yard range, the red, you're starting to lose it. It's getting worse and worse and worse, and you keep going back further, and it's just degrading like hell. When you reach a 40-yard range, you no longer, you're getting nothing out of mastery. This might as well say 0. So, this aura, now here's the problem. I tried experimenting earlier with the Lightbringer. If anybody can tell me a better way to handle this, let me know. But I tried, you can put Lightbringer in the Weakauras, like it'll register that Lightbringer is a spell. The problem is that Lightbringer as a buff doesn't really exist. Notice, I'm near this guy, there's no Lightbringer or anything triggering on him. If I'm further away, no Lightbringer, none of that's happening. It's not telling me a damn thing. So, that's a problem. I'm nowhere near the target there, and I can't tell. Without these auras, I have no idea if I'm actually in a 10-yard range or not. And personally, I don't want to have the slash range, slash range 10. You can do that. I don't like it as much visually. I mean, look at this. This thing is
Orders, Commander.
It's not even telling me anything. Let's walk up to this guy. Is this telling me I'm in 10 yards? No, it's definitely not telling me I'm in 10 yards. And to be fair, you can calibrate this thing. You can do a lot more with it. I don't like it as much visually. So I like the way I've set up the Weakauras, where, if I'm there, I can I know right away, okay, I'm 10 yards. Now, I'm going to be working on this later, but the only real trick here is the Beacon of the Lightbringer. With that active, there's a bit of a problem because you no longer need to worry about that. So honestly, if you have the Beacon of the Lightbringer, it's pretty idiot-proof. I find it's a really lazy talent, but it's really effective in raiding. Because once you have that up, then the melee is covered, and as long as you're standing anywhere near the range, you get the full buff of the mastery for the most part. Obviously, certain fights are going to make it harder, Iron Reaper type fights, but the Lightbringer talent really simplifies things. But if you're trying one of the other talents, and it's just, if nothing else, it's good to have that reminder, just to know, okay, I need to be 10 yards, 10 yards. Because we've spent years now playing with the range casters a lot, and we've got a lot of Holy Paladins have got it ingrained in their heads, play like a range. We've lost our melee way, unless you're a good PvPer, which I try, but I'm not a gladiator. But yeah, you just... What the hell is that Weakauras? Oh, no, that's the game itself, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. See, even they put some stuff in there. Oh, anyway, my diatribe for the day. So yeah, I'm going to experiment later with the masteries here more, see if I can get anything working, but ideally, I would definitely set up this Weakauras for your auras, because it is so helpful. You really don't realize what the 10-yard range really is. Like, you take for granted, like, this much room, watch, about this much room. If you're not near this guy, this insanely, imagine Aura of Mercy. If you're not standing on 3 guys with this buff, about that close. If you're not within 3 guys, like in a raid group, and you're not good about it, oh, I'm gonna be that guy off in the left corner. I won't get hit by boss mechanics. Like, you're losing so much HPS. You need to constantly make sure this aura is triggering. And this is another thing, is that Aura of Mercy, for example, I might write in like a separate aura entirely for it, because that requires 3 targets. You might want to actually restructure it to tell you you've got 3 guys in this thing. 1 guy isn't enough. We want 3 guys to max out our HPS. There's so much more I could be doing with this. I could probably rewrite Devo Aura in some crazy way where, based on the number of targets present in it, like the number I'm buffing with it, because it's counting as a buff. The way it is so far the game, it's actually saying here, I've got an Aura of Sacrifice on this guy, it's telling me. So I could probably take Devo Aura, and for every person in the Devo Aura, the damage reduction is getting worse and worse as it's split over people. I could probably structure this aura in such a way that for each person present, like, have a different color on the aura. So that progressively I could start it off green and then have it like, you know, kind of a grading over time to like a red. And, you know, the worse it's getting. But yeah, there's so much we could do here. I'm kind of running on the mouth here, but I'm really proud of this aura. So if anybody has questions or thoughts, please feel free to ask me. I'm always available. Just send a comment or, you know, shoot a message, whatever works best. But thank you for watching, and I'll try to post more of these in the future.